Hey folks, Lucid, welcome back. We got another session of Black Swan here, where I'm playing Mekone, the strongest and most overpowered of all early age nations. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna turn 25. Go ahead and pull it up. I have made for myself, and that was some of the pausing in the first few seconds of this recording, is I've made myself a Oleg and Bobo inspired coffee, where I've got some vodka mixed in, some cream, some coffee, and hopefully this will carry me through the next couple hours of recording as I try to catch back up. Message from Ulm. No real battle with Pangea. I'll throw this out as we... the revolutionary sees his task as liberation, not only of the oppressed, but also of the oppressor. So here's something to think about. If, in a practical sense, if you were going to try to overthrow a government, which, of course, I'm not looking to do, and anyway, it feels weird saying that on YouTube. If you were to overthrow a government, but if you were going to, like, you would need a big army, and you would need a military, and you would need an industrial base. I mean, you could do it, I guess, like India style, where literally the entire country is united. But if you're not able to unite the entire country, and you don't have everybody on the same page, or you don't even have the military, right? Like, if the military hasn't been indoctrinated, then, like, if you have to fight a war, then you're gonna need generals and an industrial base, and the people who are going to have all of those things, like the people who control all that, are also going to be the industrialists. So, like, it, and you're, like, the idea of having, like, a non-Leninist socialist system doesn't really make sense if you're going to start there from a military perspective with, like, a true revolution, like a forceful overthrow of world powers. Just doesn't seem like it would work. Because you have to kind of become the demon to throw them out. If that's how you see, like, if you see, I'm not even saying I see, you know, the current capitalist system as a bunch of demons, but if you saw it that way, you would have to kind of become it in order to fight it. And the idea that you would then, I think the idea that you would then have, like, a military government which won a war that would then dismantle itself to become, like, a truly democratic process without, like, a strong party system where people could immediately kick out the victors from office if they kind of displeased them. Before, like, and maybe it's because there's, like, imagine you've done you've had an overthrow, you've had this, like, grassroots democracy that you've now put in place, which I think is a very idealistic assumption. And then, let's say you start transitioning to some utopian ideal society, and during those first 4 years, let's say the transition's going badly and people have way less than they used to, and maybe it would be better, you know, in 10 years, but, like, you have to go through some shit period at the beginning, and they want to throw you out of office. And you are the people now, like, you now, the executives of the state, you have the keys to power. It's just not realistic to think that you're going to let people throw you out of office. I don't think that's how the world works. So I think that's the problem with, I mean, that's one of the, I think, many problems. The other problem is, like, the fallacy of, I think, central planning. But that's why having oh, nice, found an ancient temple. This is a holy site, and you get a pearl. It's one of the things people don't normally look at when you're looking at this, but it is worth doing Holy One site searching, because usually you'll find probably about 1 in 12, you'll find an ancient temple, so it is worth doing. Anyway, more musings on me from these things work. Well, I guess we'll watch this one. Because, yeah, we are now on top of Caelum. And I don't think I mentioned that at the end of the last episode, but yeah, we did move to attack. Because basically his army had kind of disappeared. And they get pretty well murdered. One salvo of javelins and they'll be pretty much retreating. But yeah, I think that's actually the biggest problem. The biggest problem was, I think there's a few big problems with utopian socialism. Probably the biggest problem is in order to actually create it, you need a massive state and probably a massive military and industrial base. And by the time you have those, like, formed up inside a state, the idea of them relinquishing power is really weak. The second one is, like, just creating the apparatus of the state that needs to be involved in all the microtransactions to ensure that utopian socialism actually happens, like at a micro level. You have an extremely powerful state, and like having that much power concentrated in any institution is likely going to corrupt it. And corrupting is like this big dramatic word. Really what it is like the rules of the universe, man. People in power try to preserve their power. And really from that, you can get almost every like horrible, evil government action you want to talk about. Found some heretics, that's nice. So it's not really like corruption, it's more just like basic mechanics of the universe. And that you have people in office or people in political power, and they're going to preserve it. Preserve their status. Parties will try to stay in power, governments will try to stay in power. I don't think there's anything wild there. So we've gotten an air random. This is actually really important because this guy can cloud trapeze, which means we can now do magic face attacks. And yeah, we'll see. Right now we're going to try to kind of crack this fort. We're going to come down here. I can't remember what's happening over here. I think Caelum has the fort right here. We sent a message to Tirnanog. Hey, what are your thoughts on turning on Lanka after this? Undead, reanimation, blood. I kind of make a point to take Lanka out early in games where I neighbor them. I want to split his lands. And so we see a pretty big force. He was killing some troglodytes here, so he has some excuse, but yeah. Also possible he chooses to attack me. Because by this time I'm pretty sure I have done actual communication with him where we basically say that we're not doing an app. Or I say I'm not doing an app, which... I mean, he should know I'm probably not going to attack him right away because I'm at war with Caelum, but he probably knows he's next on the block. Okay. Another hurricane. We've breached the fortress to Caelum. And I think we're going to go ahead and try to storm. Now we've got Strength of Giants getting popped out. We don't have flaming arrows, but it may not matter. So we'll see how that goes. If all I saw in here were like 80 long dead, and I think what we have is strong enough to kill 80 long dead. I don't know how much mage support he has, and I don't know what his mages are going to be casting. But I don't know. I think it's reasonable to go in and attack. I think I have conservative gem use off, so we're going to burn some of those gems, spamming out Strength Giants. Strength Giants, we're going to be pretty strong. The problem, I think, though, and this, like, if you saw this fort, we barely kind of took it. The problem is the guys on fire aren't on attack rear. These guys should be on holding attack rear, probably. I need more people on attack rear, because If I just get jammed up in the gate and I have these people like sitting there getting attacked, especially from mages while they're trying to kill the rest of the people on the wall, it's bad news bears. So I think my scripting's probably wrong. Like if I did some people on hold and fire, but then a pretty big group of people on hold and attack rear, probably would go better. Anyway, things we learn. These are cold, so I can actually run across this river, which we're going to do. Go put this fort under siege. We got flaming arrows in this army. We've given these guys, and really we should have this on everybody we want to cast flaming arrows on fire in a jar. So, that's that. In terms of research, we're getting Alt 3, which will allow me to do a little more super combatant-y stuff. And then we're going to run for Construction 6, which gives us lanterns. Which I'm going to get that and then not make that many lanterns because my fire income actually kind of sucks. If we look at my gym income, I've got 3 fire, 2 air, 2 water, 8 earth, 1 astral, 3 death, and 3 nature. So not phenomenal, but fire is really... God, I wish I had more fire income. And you'll see as it starts to kind of cripple me a bit later. In terms of production, I'll just run through that. We got more hoplites coming out, more peltasts here. You can see we're getting E4s and stuff. Shamans were pooping out, making Boots of the Messenger here. This guy's researching. I don't want shamans to research, so if we get them, we should have them go do other things. They're not really very efficient researchers, but we still got a fair amount of nature left to site search. Okay. And, turn 27 is going to be next. And guys, I feel that little tingle, which means that my my Russian coffee is starting to work. A message from Ulm. Greetings, people of Black Swan. Sadly, we inform you that both Danton and Pico were slain by Nelly Furtudo as the war continues on the Ulmish border. He's sending us a song. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time's passing. Where have all the flowers gone? Long times ago. Where have all the flowers gone? Picked by, young girls, everyone. Anyway, you can read that if you want. We're, I think, what, Alt 3 now, and we're running up construction to get to Construction 6. Got some battles going on. Our force comes in to fight Caelum. Phoenix Power. Strength of Giants. I didn't actually do the Flaming Arrows script because it's not really scared. And then we have a battle inside the Fortress of Caelum, so this is going to be a big battle. On Caelum's side, we have, it looks like 5 Eagle Kings, a fair amount of the Harab Seraphs, which can fill up the gate with undead, some Mammoths, some Claymen, and, yeah. I think his god's here too somewhere. I don't see a god. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so we know he has Thunderstrike, because the Thunderstrike spam is... Ow. Coming out. Problem with holding attack versus Caelum is he just... More salvos of Thunderstrike. God, that hurts so bad. Thunderstrike's a good spell, guys. Okay, already we have some of our cowards running. Just... You little fuckers. Okay, fortunately for me, his mammoths are running, and they're just trampling people on their way out. But I think mammoths probably killed more of their stuff than I did. Almost 18. Just a massacre. We lost 150 troops. No, we killed a fair amount. We killed more than I thought. We got 2 of these guys. We got 4 of these guys. We didn't kill any Eagle Kings, and the Eagle Kings were just the ones that devastated us with those Thunderstrikes. The Mammoths died. I guess this is a different patch, so I'm sure the battle played out a little differently than we saw. I think my guys did more damage, like shot a bit more and stuff than we saw, because in the fight we saw, they basically just shat their pants and ran. Okay, so anyway, did not work. And we've still got Caelum under siege, because you always want to leave at least somebody or some troop when you siege a fort outside, so that if you fail like this, your guys retreat off, but you still keep the fort under siege. So what's going to be important about that is he can't add PD, so we can just run back in, and the only thing he can come out with is basically the stuff he already had there. And so yeah, we're basically just going to kind of run back in and lay this under siege. Here we're going to continue sieging this down. We haven't broken it yet. We're going to be... I was going to pull these guys over here to go on top of this fort, but instead we're going to pull them down to sit on top of Caelum. Sent a message to Caelum saying, need lightning resistance indeed, well played. I think he had sent me a message in Discord, like once he had kind of enticed me to not fight him, and I had refused, he was like, well, okay, I hope you brought lots of lightning resistance. So anyway, Kappa. Here we go. We're gonna move down this way, get another big army. We can see it looks like Lanka's got something brewing for us. It seems to be massing some troops over here. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That was a big army we had go in. So I don't know what we're going to do in the short run that's going to be a lot stronger than that. We are going to Cloud Trapeze on top of Caelum with this guy. And let's see the script we've given him. He's going to be really the main difference. We've got... so he's already got 10 shock resistance. Earth power protection from lightning. This should put him up to 20. Stone skin. We don't really care about cold. Give him high protection flight and attack rear. So that's the idea. He should be at like 20. I think, to be a little prophetic, I don't think I realized that Dominion AI is so freaking horrible that if you're 10 shock resistance, it won't cast protection or like shock resistance to get you up to 20, which is completely ridiculous. I could kind of understand if the AI like was like, oh, you're at 30, we don't want to go to 40. But 10 not wanting to go to 20, I mean, come on. Come on now. Like, in general, I think the more experienced you are, you don't ever want the AI to decide something you script is not worth casting unless it's like the gem bait rule. But like if it doesn't cost gems, I basically never want you to not cast it. Yeah, I can't even think of a situation where I would want you to not cast something that I've scripted. Like maybe call horror or something. But again, it requires gems, and it would follow the gem bait script. If it's big enough that the gem bait trigger happens, then I want you to call a horror. Like, I don't want you to not do stuff I've scripted. So it's really annoying. It's like, oh, we're gonna improve the intelligence by making it, you know, check each order you do to see if it makes sense for you to do it. Like, we're gonna make the spellcasting AI better. No, you made it worse. Like, don't check what I've put in. Anyway, enough ranting. These guys are coming down here. So that's it for this turn. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. Turn 28, the last turn for this episode. I believe this is the turn we get the war declaration from Lanka. No, not yet. Though he might message me in Discord. Here's another message from Oleg. Which, cheers to Oleg. I'm gonna drink some coffee. Okay, we cast Cloud Trapeze. Found a magic site, Stone Circle. Actually a very good site. It allows us to get a Wood Hinge Druid, which are pretty useful. They're stealthy, which can be... Having a stealthy Nature Mage actually can be pretty clutch. If you put stealthy troops on them, they can do Wooden Warriors on them. It's actually kind of worth me figuring out if there's some stealthy summon I want to get. I'll have to pull up Mod Inspector. But anyway, I haven't been using it, but it's nice. And then one Nature Gem's always convenient. We have a battle in Caelum. Let's watch this. So Caelum's marching out with a sizable little force, but not all of his mages. His mages are busy researching and such. Now this army's gonna get smushed by mine, I'm just pretty sure. Now, there's a chance my giant could die if he jumps in the back and gets thunderstruck. Wait, let's watch my script again. Because we're gonna watch this giant, because I'm on to you, Illwinter. I know what you're doing with my scripts. Earth power. Now he's supposed to do protection from lightning next. Legions of Steel, not what I scripted. Fuckers. Okay, got hit by a thunderbolt or a lightning bolt. Unfortunately, they run. Now, I don't think I learned my lesson here, because if I learned my lesson, I would know that this isn't getting cast, and I wouldn't do what I'm about to do. Okay, we're not even ready to do it yet, but I'm gonna send this guy in. He's gonna die. Just gonna let you know. So, like, oh, he's gonna cast it. Oh, we did. Oh, maybe I did notice because I took it off. Am I being smart? Okay, we're moving in lightning spools, so I did notice. We're moving in storm spools, so hopefully he'll be high enough protection. He'll be at 30. 25 lightning protection, which is kind of not enough for Thunderstrike, but it kind of is. You're mostly immune, but not super. Anyway. We'll see. So that's kind of my plan. I don't want to send another army, and I would rather send like a super combatant and kill it like that way with shock resistance. But again, because right now we're thinking like Thunderstrike. But Caelum has some surprises in store for us, and we'll have to see what those surprises are in future episodes. We're gonna go ahead and raid here. I really want to take this too from TNN. Anyway. I guess Lanka has not messaged me that. I found a magic site here. I guess it was the gallows. Nice. We also got this guy, the first king, or the Alcyonesis. However you say that. But anyway, he's Dominion Immortal, so he's immortal in my own Dominion, which is cool. He's a combat caster, so he'd actually be a really good Magma Eruption caster. Throw some Earth Boots on him, give him some Reinvigoration gear, have him on advance and cast spells behind an army. He would drop some big ol' Magma Eruptions. And if he dies, it's not a huge deal. And then being holy, he'll get the Reinvigoration. I mean, it would not be hard to get him where he could do Magma Eruption every turn. For now, he's going to research. We've got a Water Random Cyclops. We're basically continuing to make Cyclopses. I'm trying to get... We're doing Helmet of Heroes to get the little morale item, so my guys don't run if I need to go and attack here. One development here is you can see that Agartha is invading Machaca. And I don't know if he's going to do it here. I think he might do it in Discord, but he may do it in one of the upcoming turns. He's basically going to say, hey, this land is mine, don't touch any of Machaca's land. If you do, I'll consider it like an attack. Which, little pushy. It's a little pushy, but while I'm not really excited about having somebody eat Machaca and then having a neighbor, which is like it's better to have smaller neighbors rather than bigger neighbors. So if your neighbor gets eaten by somebody else, they're going to be bigger. So I'm not excited about having Agartha as a neighbor. But in some ways, I think they're a weaker nation than early age Machaca. So, tomato, tomato. We see a buildup on this border, too, of Satician troops. Anyway. That's that. Let's go ahead and... But this was actually pretty important, because I think we killed most of the chaff that would now sit inside the fort. I think Caelum came out not with all his mages, but with pretty much all his chaff. So that's important. And if I cannot break the fort, I can eventually dom kill them, which is not how you want it to end. But anyway, it's how it may end. Okay. Turn 28. I just want y'all to remember that, what, 2 turns ago? Turn 26, we put them under siege? Because, spoiler alert, it's going to be a while before we take Caelum. But I'm not going to reveal how long it will be, but just remember, turn 26, several episodes from now, or 25, when we first put it under siege. Here we go. I think that's the end of this episode. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.